Ready? Okay. Gonna go ahead and ready and call our meeting the order of the Parks and Rec. We'll ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. And when we finish the pledge, Mr. Patton, will you do our invocation after the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's right. Heavenly Father, we come and say thank you for this meeting, Lord. Lord, we just ask you to come in this meeting. And Lord, we just ask you to bless the one that's on this meeting, bless the ones that are here. And Lord, we just give you God and the praise. Amen.
Amen. Hannah.
Okay. All right. You want to do roll call?
Ms. McWilliams,
Here?
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Ms. Pepe,
Here.
Mr. Patton.
Here.
Ms. Arnold,
Here.
Ms. Hope,
Here.
Ms. Knowles,
Here.
all members of present.
Right. Okay, you have a copy, you were emailed a copy of the minutes from the last meeting. Is there anything in the minutes that needs to be corrected, added, or otherwise? If not, I'll accept the motion to accept the minutes as written.
I didn't see anything wrong with it, so I'll make a motion to accept as presented.
Second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Let's see. Easter event progress.
We're full swing at the center, filling eggs, myself, the seniors. Right now we're looking at about $1,450 in donations. We have 2 sets of our bikes being donated, and I'll have to pick up a third with helmets. I'm waiting on the pizza place to get us certificates for their sticks. We'll have chocolate bunnies. Miss Lou Emma,
I have the prizes for the drawings. We have, we're going to be giving away 100 prepared bags of gifts that have retail value of about $30 a piece. So we're going to be giving away 100 of those. So,
Southside Church is coming and they are doing games again. And just pray for good weather.
Yeah. Now we're gonna hopefully give the calling outside. We're gonna do it outside
Yes.
this year. Now,
If the weather is like it was last year, we're going to do everything outside again. Set up with the prizes inside the games. Southside asked could they set up inside with the games, and I told them sure.
Yeah.
That just keeps them, from blowing stuff away. But everything set it outside last year went well.
Yeah.
With the way that instead of everybody crowding in on the gift table,
yeah,
on
the
the prize
first year was a
table.
little crazy.
So we'll draw names outside and send them in to get their prize.
Okay.
What is the date again, and what time do you want us to? Date and time?
The 19th from 10 to 12.
We'll be there.
can we set up the prizes the night before?
Yes.
Okay.
So you want us there around 9, then to
Yes,
throw
ma'am.
the eggs out? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. That way, that'll give us time to get set up to who needs to be at the registration table. Because when they come in, they'll have to register their kids per age group. Miss Emma has coordinated colored tickets for each age group. And luckily, I had buckets to match those colors. So we'll have those set out at a table where they can come in, sign their kid up, drop it in the bucket. When we get ready to draw, we'll just take that bucket, draw those names out for however many prizes we have for that group.
And I'll be there early enough playing Easter music and making
Yeah.
announcements on the speakers to everybody
Yep.
get signed up and how it works. So
are we gonna get from McDonald's the ice cream?
I have emailed them. I will contact them again this week to see if we can't get some of those again.
Well, it's just a
Or
good way to get the eggs
Eggs
back.
back.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And if we don't have ice cream, we can use maybe Cinna Stick as a offer to get the,
Well, we don't. We usually don't get that many. He usually sends about like 10, 15 per group. So we wouldn't
Yeah.
have.
ice creams were better than.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else on Easter?
No, ma'am.
Got it. All right. The grant update.
I think- So I'm pleased to announce that we have received the contract from the state. The grant is a $2 million grant, and then the city matches $200,000. On our commission agenda this month, we do have that contract for approval, and then the architect design. In front of you, you guys, I thought I was going crazy. I thought I had it digitally. I didn't, but I did have these copies. So that is kind of the conceptual design that we had talked about last month and last few months. That is still subject to changes. Once we do the contracts and sign off, we have to go through the pricing list and see if all of it can stay there. But in front of you, pass it around, but that is the concept design right
I'm just excited that Murray Regional's willing to be a part of it too. I think that's fantastic. Screenings and stuff for our seniors and whatnot.
All right. Anything else on the grant?
now. I'll keep updating you as months go by.
All right. Airmines bathroom update.
And I'm pleased to announce, and I think I can retire now. On the board behind you, I do have the bid tally. We did receive 3 bids. The first one is G&M Construction for $35,000, 35,548.10. Second one was Wayne Vanderbilt for $52,875. And the last one was KCS Building Group, $94,450.
I asked Philip if they were gonna put marble floor.
You're gonna be like at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah.
We've not used KCS before, but we've used Wayne Vanderbilt and G&M Construction, so I have a good relationship with both of them. We met with, me and Ted met with G&M on site today. It's like, hey, you're a lot cheaper than everybody else. Is everything here in your plan, and you make sure, because we didn't wanna, we seal bid,
Mhm.
he asked us to stick by it, so he's like, yeah, no, I knew every bit of this. So we're gonna recommend to the commission the 35,548.10.
Because I mean, even that's still about $10,000 more than what we paid for the other bathrooms, but still, I mean, time has passed since then.
Yeah.
Things are getting more expensive, so I think that's reasonable.
And this is all encompassed, that is the walkway, the pad, the building. They're doing the sewer hooking, and they have to run the water lines, electrical, all of it, so,
That's a good price.
I think it's a good price.
I think so too.
That's what we're recommending to the full commission.
Okay. All right. Scarecrow event update.
So, as we talked earlier, we're gonna start that committee soon. Still have time to do that, so be looking for invitations to sit on that committee to make that a successful event as well.
Movie night event update.
Movie night. We're gonna set up in front of the center. We're gonna have popcorn, drinks, snacks, what was left over from the dance. I saw a really cute movie off of Netflix called Camp Cool Kids.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like a end of school, beginning of summer type movie that I thought, the kids
Perfect.
could enjoy. So, I also talked to Tanya at United to see about sponsoring some pizzas. She was going to get back to me about that. If they can't, then we'll see if somebody else can.
What's
that
the
night,
date
so.
for that?
Yeah.
Date.
Um,
It's May.
the Friday of Memorial Day weekend.
I think that's 23rd.
I think it is too.
The 23rd.
We're Thursday, Friday.
Mhm.
You're not All right, Juneteenth event update.
I put a deposit down on our water slide.
Good deal.
It's a double slide. The kids seem like as many kids as going up and down the slides. Those seem to work pretty good.
Is the ladder in the middle this year or is it on the side?
It's on the side this
That
year.
was much better. The one in the middle was very,
The ladder is right
Yeah.
here, and then
the side we had last year with in the middle was a
Yeah.
little chaotic.
it was. So I looked at something different this
Yeah,
year for that.
thank you very much.
But we didn't have any issues, like major issues.
No,
Thank goodness.
but there's a few
but-
folks that slid into.
Yeah. So we'll have hot dogs with the fire department. Bedford's bringing Cool Pops. Philip and I have talked about things going on like outside of the water. I looked into doing what it would take to get us a 3-on-3 tournament.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to have a lot. So we talked about maybe doing like a free throw contest or a dunk contest. Just kind of something simpler so you don't have to like get referees and scorekeepers and all that good stuff.
We got a scoreboard at the community center.
We have it. That's what I said. We
They
have
got
one. We can always pull it out to keep score of how many
One of the,
shots.
and this was Leach's idea, and I thought it was great. One of the things you come up with is having an ice cream truck come. We realized maybe some people in the community may not be able to get ice cream, but kind of do like you did at the bank that time and do tickets in the city paper, a small cup of ice cream. And I think you've got prices. It was
Mhm.
$3 a cup.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do like 100 tickets, and we've already put it in our budget to kind of look at that and do that.
Yeah.
Just have your blessing on that. But I think that was a great idea from the
I think so too.
So
Just anyone,
We have it
Like,
in our budget.
kids
I don't know
up to
why
the
we
age
wouldn't.
of, kids only, and then
Uh-huh.
the adults can pay for their own.
That's right.
then you had another great idea, and so you've got the basketball going, whatever that looks like, and then after the fact, they can pick up games, but other activities, and really good idea, got a bingo set, maybe under the shelter, if someone wanted to do bingo,
Uh-huh.
so I think she put together a pretty good plan for activities for all age groups.
And if you start now and ask for some gifts for bingo,
Mm-hmm.
because that's how I helped Miss Diane. I'd ask around, people would give me stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of
For the-
stuff you want. I can find stuff.
It's in the buggy. It's in
It's in the
Lou's
buggy.
buggy.
It's in Lulu's buggy.
It don't really matter what it is. For the seniors, we did stuff like deodorant, shampoo, and toiletries, and
Laundry
stuff.
detergent.
laundry
things
detergent,
like
stuff like that. Which I don't know that's what we ought to have for Juneteenth, but yeah.
Maybe Philip and I had talked about see if these some of our local eateries will donate a
Gift
meal
card.
ticket
Mhm.
or something like that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That we can.
If somebody wants to do bingo, I'll get you prizes.
Okay.
And that's great too. And then obviously we accept donations, but at the end of the day, if we need to, we'll do pizza place gift cards through the city.
Yeah.
But donations are great, but I don't want to hold us up and say we won't be able to give a prize out.
Yeah.
Oh, no. If you say somebody's doing bingo, I'll get you prizes.
Okay.
Mhm.
Lulu's cart stays full.
It's in the
If
back.
you don't mind. The only other thing on that, unless you have other feedback, 'cause I think she's put together a pretty good plan there, is when do we really need to start marketing that? My thought would be 1st of June, start really pushing it out there. This is the activities that are going on. I don't know that.
Miss Granberry used to really said that we needed more signage in town that said not so much even the advertising, just directions to Gardenia, like Juneteenth event this way, something like that. Because she said a lot of folks coming in didn't really know how to get to Gardenia. Not a lot of signage for Gardenia.
Yeah, if you don't know where it is.
If you don't know where it is, you'll just drive.
Yeah, the first they need to put a bigger sign here because somewhere it's directing that way.
Yeah.
Because there's nowhere, if you don't know where it is, you lost.
You ain't going. Yeah, that's right.
Well, you got that big curve in the where you turn, so you can stick a sign in there.
That's what I was saying.
That's a big curve.
Ain't no semi trucks gonna be making that turn. All right. Anything else on Juneteenth?
I have an idea. I was thinking about maybe something for the smaller kids, a small petting zoo. I don't know if that would work for that, but geese,
I can
ducks.
ask Jeff Razel if he's interested. bring in some of his livestock out there. He brings it to the elementary
Yeah.
school all the time. You know, I'll ask him.
You
I'll
mind?
ask.
Thank you.
Good. You mind?
No, I don't. I'm
I was talking to Miss Diane today, and she said that you all had reached out to her, Miss Lori, about some ideas for Juneteenth, and she had a list to mention. But like, how can we actually bring Juneteenth to this event? Like, it's about, like, is there a
Well, Jackie had also always wanted to do a, I don't know, like some kind of shout out to some, body who had been in the community for a long time, who did something of importance, some kind
And I
of,
think that was part of everybody's homework to think of somebody.
I mean, there's somebody that we can, make a presentation to that day.
You know, some older people, they're like, Miss Davis, Miss Harlan.
Yeah, Miss
Am I
Davis.
missing somebody?
So is there somebody that y'all recommend that we could like?
Who's the oldest, Miss Harlan?
It's over.
Yeah, we should do Miss Harlan.
She's
If she's willing to come and let us,
Oh, she will, baby, she can read you a poem out of
and write you one.
She'll write you a poem.
She wrote a whole poem about me going to Gatlinburg and read it to everybody at church service.
Do like a little presentation with that.
Uh-huh. And I think, because it's just right, because otherwise we're just having a water day for the most
Yeah.
part, so if we could do that, that would be great. I know that would make Jackie happy.
Okay, anything else? All right, back to school bash update.
Back to school bash. We'll set up at the splash pad. We'll have our hot dogs, our music, games, and our school supplies set up
We have enough school supplies already gathered for 500 kids
for 500 kids.
at this moment.
That's amazing.
That is amazing. That takes care of all of one whole, I think the student count at the elementary schools close to 500, isn't it?
So you'll get part of them, part middle school, even if you get some high schoolers. We've got school supplies that will cover the gamut of ages.
I think it's
Yeah.
great.
Are we gonna do it like in the bins like we had discussed
I think
last
we need
year?
to do bags and let them pick
Bag.
the bag up. And I've got 2 colors of bags, so we could do one that's specifically elementary, middle, and high, and just hand those out.
You know what color they get.
You could cut by color because, elementary is gonna need
Crayons.
composition books and glue sticks and pencils, folders, those kinds of things. And that the high school is going to use more ink pens and maybe some composition books, but
Yeah.
spirals, loose leaf notebook paper, folders, those kinds of
That's
things.
all they need, yeah.
And so, yeah, there's no sense in putting pencils in a high school because they're just going to break them, throw them in the trash. So, ink pens are what they need. So, we can we've got enough for 500 bags right now.
That's amazing.
That is. What's the date for the back to school bash?
The date. I don't know why I didn't add that in there. July the 19th.
What is it?
July the 19th.
And we can start that whenever y'all feel like y'all want to start it. 'Cause I didn't have a time set for that.
What day of the week?
I don't know, but as soon as the Easter stuff's gone, I'm bringing the school supplies over. So
My garage is full.
it is.
What day of the week is that? You know, get there at time. What day of the week is it?
Saturday.
It's on a Saturday.
July 19th. I'd say the later the better, or the earlier the better.
It could be hot, that's what
Yeah.
she's saying. That's why
If
we
you're
do
doing
it
it
at
at
the
the
splash pad.
splash pad.
I'll be up in that splash pad, don't you worry
Up
about
in
that.
there. Up in there.
I think so. Yeah, I think
Really,
it is.
I think we should have all that, should have our canopy up.
That'd be great too.
Yeah.
Cause remember, there's very much shade over there.
Okay. We should be good to go on back to school. All
I think
right.
I want to start at like 8.
Ain't nobody gonna be on no.
9.
If they want that school, ain't nobody gonna be out at 2 or 3. I'm not. On the 19th of July.
I mean, I'm good with 8, but 9 o'clock.
Pop out of bed early.
So how long are you doing this event for? We're having hot dogs. We don't want to start too early.
Well, that's
Cause look,
true.
I mean, I eat a lot of things for breakfast, but hot dog ain't usually one of them.
Hot dog's not one of those.
10 to
Maybe
noon.
some sausage
10 to
biscuits or
noon.
something.
There we
Let's
go.
do 10 to noon.
10 to noon, I'll be okay with that.
That'll be a good time for hot dogs.
Yeah, that's a good time right now.
And eat their hot dog about 11.
Some of those kids will be eating hot dogs for breakfast.
Yeah.
Because the splash pad don't open till 8 o'clock anyway.
That's right.
All right. Okay. New business. Tiger Youth Baseball League.
I'm gonna say a few words about this, and I'm gonna let Chief Hay take it from there. So, throughout the years, this has come up several times, and then recently in my tenure, back in the fall, Chief Hay got involved. And the recommendation was not to change policy. So I actually got Chief Hay and Michael and just asked the question: is it stringent? Can a person reform? And then what else can we do here? So I feel like, and I want him to carry you through it. I feel like that we put together a good plan for coaches in background, making it more stringent in certain areas, relaxing in some, and then going through this and looking at it from a standpoint. We have still taken, it's still 10 years almost, and we did some 15 years in this. But one of the things, and I think they support it, and I want to get it to the full commission this month, but I think the question we asked ourselves, can a person reform? And I think, yes, they can. But let's design this in a way where we're protecting ourselves, our kids, and the community. So, if you don't mind, Chief A, I've got a PowerPoint. I like PowerPoints. I'm going to kind of carry you through step by step.
So what we've done is that we have separated the classes. Felonies go from Class A to Class E. I don't know if y'all know this, but TPA, they go from Class A to Class E.
No. Sorry. Sent you this late, so it's my fault, not his. That's the cover page, it's not changing. I'm going to go to the second page where he's talking about it.
Okay.
I didn't type the subject yet. I was busy doing other things.
Like being a hero.
No. So basically what we've kept the same is that any and all sex offenses, you are not coaching baseball for little kids. I don't know if y'all agree with that, but
I agree.
any and all sex offenses, I don't care what it is, you're not coaching baseball. Okay. And from there, we separated it into the felonies. Okay. Class A felony, you're not coaching baseball. That consists of murder. That consists of aggravated kidnapping, anything. Yeah. So after that, you've got your Class B felonies, which are we decided that 15 years from date of conviction. So if you fall within that 15 years, you're not coaching baseball. And then we combine class C, D, and E to 10 years.
Okay.
That's your minor felonies. Okay. There's examples. Some of the examples are robbery, aggravated robbery, extortion, unlawful surveillance, theft of a firearm, felony in possession of a firearm. Those are all your minor felonies. 10 years. And then misdemeanors, 2 or more misdemeanors in the past 5 years, you're not coaching. 2 or more misdemeanor drug or alcohol offenses in the past 5 years.
So that is, sorry, Michael, but that is a change. It used to say 7 on that.
You say 7,
It used
yes.
to say 7, so we've been a little more lax. I guess a misdemeanor is not a felony.
It's not a felony. No.
No.
And then in the felonies, the way the felonies used to read, it was any violent felony
Mm-hmm.
you were not coaching. Well,
There's some classifications in those violent felonies.
they're not really violent, but
They're not really violent.
according to
We kind of mirrored what state of Tennessee uses for their sentencing guidelines. Class A felony, you're looking at 25 years to life. Class B, you're looking 10 to 20 years. So where it downgrades. Misdemeanors, get probation. If you get probation, it's 11 months, 29 days at the most.
or you may get post plea and it goes away after a year.
Yeah, if you complete your probation, there's post-plea conversion, probation, you could get expungements. But the big thing on all of these, are these 2 right here. You've got a case that's pending in court, you do not have a conviction, you're not gonna be approved. It's got, you have to have had your court case completed and then completed whatever sentence it was, and then you're done. Probation's the same thing. You're still on probation, that means you've been sentenced, you've been convicted, but you still got court hanging over your head. Then our recommendation would be do not allow. And we do it for most of it.
Which could be anywhere from 1 to 10 years. It could be anything probation wise, just depending on what the court decides to give.
So let's just say somebody got convicted of a crime, that would fall into that CDE, which would be, how many years, Michael? How many years does it say on there? CDEs,
10 years.
10 years. So if you go, and they got a post plea diversion, which means if they complete that whole 10 years, all that they did comes off the record. So somewhere in there, they end up getting charged with something else and convicted of that, then it doesn't go away.
10 years start over.
It's a 10-year start over. So, kind of tried to take into account and make it, like you said, right here, that's never gonna happen. This is a little more stringent than it was before, but those are some violent offenses, carjacking, aggravated robbery, vehicular homicide. But when we got down into the robbery, the extortion, this is more property to crime top stuff. Make it your 10 years, you proving that you're reformed, all means. And that should be setting, that kind of sets an example. Like, yes, I can do something different in my life. I've changed my life. So,
I agree with that.
Separating it this way, I think would be better than just lumping it all into just violent felonies. Which is the way it was.
One thing looking at, and I appreciate Michael and Jack for the help finding this, but we have an ordinance on this, but hey, we go back and maybe Jack had found it all the way to 2015, and it was just an action item from our elected officials. It wasn't a resolution, it wasn't an ordinance. It really didn't have, it has teeth, because ultimately the board or the commission could go, hey, you're not following this, you can't use the field. But that's about the only teeth it had. So I'm recommending to send this by resolution to our commission if you guys send it on up. And that way it has a little bit more teeth.
Can you go to the next page again?
Yes, ma'am.
You'd like to have a copy? You want to have a
That's
copy of
okay, I
this?
just-
You don't need a copy? We make you copies of this?
Yes. And where does DV start?
So, the domestic violence, there's 2 or more convictions in the last, if there's 2 or more in the last 5 years, then
2 more charges in the last 5 years, or,
yes.
okay.
Now, some of them, restraining orders, bond
Okay.
conditions, things like that, we're not gonna be able to see that.
Mm-hmm,
On the background check that we run,
mm-hmm,
we run the DLs, it will pop up.
Mhm.
And though sometimes the child is not the protected party, their parent is the protected party. That's one of those things. One parent's gonna be there, the other one's not. Unless that child's name is the protected party in that.
okay.
And some of that falls on the person who's the protected party.
Okay.
That's no different than if there were spectators who showed up at the game. Protected party.
And it's sad it doesn't happen.
Yes.
I want to make sure that I'm understanding this. When it says, like 2 or more misdemeanor drug and alcohol offenses, and you go down to that probation. So if they have a misdemeanor and they have 10, 15 years of probation, they're not coached until the probation is over,
Not
correct?
until the probation.
Okay,
Probation or parole. let me say.
Okay.
Probation or parole.
That's pretty much what they do instead of letting you sit in jail. You're still basically in jail, you're just not behind bars.
Yeah.
You just get passing. I just get back.
One last point I'll share you from my perspective after talking with them. You really look at some of these folks that if they were young and they went through that, drugs, whatever it may be, and then they settle down, productive members of the community, and spend 10 years, no issues. That person's probably more better off the coach than I would be, because he or she probably appreciates that. And then that message, don't follow me too, right?
This is long overdue, guys.
Good.
This is long overdue. This has been a topic and a request ever since I've been in Mount Pleasant.
But there's still gonna be some people that's not happy with it.
Well, of course there will be. You're not gonna make everybody happy, Michael, but I appreciate at least our attempt to say,
Something in-
you know, somebody couldn't change.
And
And if-
I like clear rules.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah, I do too.
clear dates,
Me too.
clear years, clear rules. That's
But
what I like.
It's very,
It's
it's
more outlined.
very distinct.
Yes.
And that was the problem in years past. There was not really any clarity. It just said felon can't coach.
It's at all violent felonies.
Yeah.
Well, and we have had some issues in the past, and Philip brought that up, but that, what's been here in the past was an action item. And it really didn't have any teeth unless the city looks at the, say, the league themselves, the board, and says, you violated these rules, you're no longer able, so which would kill it for everybody.
Right.
Would kill the whole league, because we would revoke the privileges
Yeah.
to
Don't want to do that either necessarily. Yeah.
And it boils down to, a lot of it boils down to the liability that the city looks at, because the city owns the field.
Mhm.
If something takes place and we're violating our own rules,
So the background check's going to work essentially the same. Then somebody's going to request the opportunity to coach baseball. We're going to run the background check.
So
You
there's a
guys let
form
us
that they
know.
fill out, Tara usually has on
Uh-huh.
it, and she brings.
And we're very lucky that we have
Big-
diligent police officers
Mhm.
that take the time to do those.
Uh-huh.
We do thorough,
I know you do.
We even go to the point of calling the DA's office if we have to, so.
And so then the recommendation will be either a yes or no.
I mean, there's been some coaches that we've told them, that all you do is to go up here and pay, and then yours goes away, so, you know. So we
Yeah.
actually help some people on
it's
this.
basically a checkbox. Yes or no? Do they meet the criteria?
Yes. Yes or no.
And if it's no, we list, we tell them why.
Or do we send them?
And usually they'll
We
let
send it
me
back
know
to
that
them.
said, hey, this is the,
We don't even
no,
send them.
no, no.
Which is what's happened to me in years past.
Well, ultimately, the safety of our kids
Always.
is our top priority.
Always.
Yes.
So I think
Ours
they're
too.
making a good point. They're sending recommendations. It's still up to that board.
It
They're
is.
gonna allow them to volunteer.
That's right.
We just give them the recommendation by the.
And I just pass that information along as a parks director or a representative of Parks Rec. Just pass that information along. I'm sorry you can't coach. So this is,
And
This is-
sometimes you have to be the bad guy and say, look, you know, I'm sorry, but
at least this is
it's
the
just a
change
no.
I think the community's been looking for. Right?
I don't either.
Good. Thank you, guys.
If no more discussion, I'd really like to take a vote, and it's ultimately up to the commission, right? So no, the thoughts on
Sure.
that. So if you don't mind, can I do a roll call?
Please do.
So you want a motion, I'm gonna write this out, motion to accept this to be submitted to the
Yeah.
city commission.
If you don't mind.
And what do we call it? What's the title of this? Criteria for exclusion?
Criteria for exclusion for coaching.
What's that cover?
Background check
Uh-huh.
policy?
Yeah. background check
Background
policy.
check, coach's background check policy.
Mhm.
Okay, do we need to have someone make the motion?
I make the motion that we approve and present the coach's background check policy to the city commissioners. Vote.
I'll second that.
All in favor? You wanna do it individually, or you want us, is that good enough?
Thank you, Sheila.
Ms. McWilliams,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Ms. Pepe,
Yes.
Mr. Patton,
Yes.
Ms. Arnold,
Yes.
Ms. Holt,
Yes.
and Ms. Knowles.
10 years ago, yes. God, what time it is.
Awesome.
Well, study session tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit about it. I'll let them know that passed unanimously with the police department's recommendations, and hopefully that'll be
I think they will.
settled next
I think
Wednesday, or next Tuesday night.
Two of y'all hearing that?
I mean, I just feel like, and I told Philip this when we talked about it yesterday. Yes, like he said, you may do something that you're not really thinking about earlier in life, but now we should believe in restorative justice and give people a chance to prove themselves and become a role model and a role.
I truly think they can.
I'm certain there's a lot of coaches who just got lucky and then get caught early on who have reformed themselves as well.
Yeah.
They just didn't get caught.
That's true. You know, there are so many people in this town that, you know, that we grew up with, that we saw
Maybe people
go
that sound like we're
through
young once.
the trenches and come out of it, you know, a better person.
Mhm.
And then there are some that
Some don't want to
never
listen.
learn.
Uh-huh.
But for those who want to be a better person,
And those ones who didn't learn, will usually threaten you as anything else.
Stay away from zero.
Huh?
Anything else?
Some pizza.
just quickly, I want to say that the Mother and Sundance went well.
I thought it did.
And that pictures are back, and I'll get them sent out
How
quickly.
many picture sets did you take for that one?
24,
And how many was the mother son?
100 and
It's an extreme difference.
something.
But we had people that entered the mother son at the back door. I'm not sure they ever went
Yeah.
in the pictures.
Yeah.
But I mean, the kids that were there and the parents, they had a really good time. All the moms were like, "This is so great. We love it. We'll be back." So
And when I saw some new moms with some little
Yeah.
kids that are starting this
You
endeavor.
gonna say anything about the, go ahead. You gonna say anything about the power?
And one last thing, the fireworks meeting we had right before this, we are gonna accept all the vendors.
With
We're gonna
permits.
go
With permits.
with permits.
Yeah,
Mhm. Now you made me lose. Holy Smokes, we're gonna use them for 2 sets. It's gonna cost $100 a set, and then Bedford's gonna do his DJing. We'll have a Dunkin' booth, games set up for the kids, and the splash pad going. So there should be plenty for everybody. And next month we'll meet 30 minutes before our meeting, just to kind of go over things if we need to. And anybody that wants to volunteer for the Scarecrow Festival boards, just let me know. We're accepting.
I think you might be voluntold there. Like you get voluntold.
Yeah, I got the 2 of them. 3 will get on.
Okay, anything else? If not, we'll accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Y'all had visitors. Y'all